So hello there everyone, I am Nikhil and in today's video we are going to discuss about the entire essence of entire mechanical engineering that you have studied in your 4 years of time, right? So most of the students have a confusion of what they are studying, what will be their future, why am I studying engineering, what should I do after completing my engineering, what kind of job should I join, what kind of skills should I learn. So there is a lot of confusion in lot of students, and not only for students, for also those who are already completed their engineering and thinking to join certain jobs, right? They are not able to plan their career in a proper way, and due to which industries are also facing a lot of challenges because they are not able to find the right people to recruit, right? So in this video I am going to discuss some practical aspects of mechanical engineering and how you can be a skillful person and how you can interact with other branch people and how you can communicate in an effective way so that you can build a futuristic product which will be appreciated both by you, both by your employer, both by the company, and also by the end consumer or the end customer whom the product is finally intended to, right? So this is a part of a small seminar that I gave in my college, right? So this is about a toy car, right? So this is the assembly of the toy car, something like this. Okay, this is a case study. So I have certain experience in working on this kind of project, so I am able to share my experience with you all. So here, this is what you are seeing. Let me just open it in full screen, and let me also switch on my pointer, right? So this is your body cover, right? So this is the upper body case of the toy, right? What you are seeing here is the chassis. These are the wheels. This is the tire. Okay, so this is the steering assembly, right? This pin will connect for this particular steering like this. So this is the batteries and this is the connection, right? And this is the power transmission system, and these are the bearings. This is the printed circuit board, right? And this is the motor clamp cover. This is the antenna. This is the motor. Sorry, this one is the motor and this one is the motor clamp. So the design is very complex. So unless you have certain imagination, you will not be able to design this part. So what I am trying to share is the end user so that you can upskill yourself and you can learn this design and analysis kind of approach, right? So generally, if we consider the curriculum of engineering, first year will mostly focusing on some mathematical aspects and some physics and chemistry aspects only, but the core subjects generally start from BTech second year, right? In second year you study engineering mechanics, fluid mechanics, thermodynamics. In your third year you will study theory of machines, right? Heat and mass transfer, machine design, automobile engineering, these kind of subjects. And in final year you will be studying advanced manufacturing processes, advanced quality management, and production planning and control, these kind of subjects, right? So this is the final essence of the mechanical engineering that you are seeing, right? So if you take a particular product or a particular part like this, let me just once again highlight that for you, right? Yeah, so if you take this particular motor clamp alone, you can see there are certain holes for the screws to come and fit in this particular bosses, right? And you can see certain holes, right? These holes are meant for cooling. So that means based on the current that the motor consumes, you should be able to design the cooling holes, right? This is comes under your heat and mass transfer, right? So how much is the heat convection, how much space is required for the heat to dissipate out, that you need to calculate using the heat and mass transfer concepts. So roughly we can get an assumption, right? For if it is a small part like this, you don't need advanced simulation, but you should have a rough idea in your brain while designing this part, right? And you can see here small projections like this, right? So this will be clamping your bearings. So inside these bearings, your transmission shaft will be rotating. So what orientation has to be this transmission shaft, and in what orientation has to be this gear ratio. All this you will study in your theory of machines, right? So in theory of machines, what will be the transmission torque and what will be the transmission speed, all of that you will be studying. So let's say if you are designing a toy car like this, you will be given certain speed, right? So my car has to go with certain speed. So based on that speed, you should calculate how much speed your wheels should rotate, and based on that speed, and you should select your motor, right? So based on those conditions, again you need to have certain basics of electrical engineering as well, right? In our the second year, fourth semester, I think so, we also studied basics of electrical engineering. So we studied DC electrical machines and AC electrical machines. In that we studied how much power is required for the motor, how much current does the motor consume, how much RPM does the motor rotate, and what is the voltage required. So similarly, for DC motors like this, certain specifications will be there when you are trying to purchase this motor. See, in companies, what generally they do is they will make certain parts and they will buy certain parts. So if you are selecting a motor, you should have a certain idea of what will be the torque required by my motor and what will be the current consumed by my motor and how many hours my motor will be running. So based on that, you should also select how many batteries are required. See, we generally have a general idea of battery power in terms of milliampere hours, right? See, in our smartphone charging, generally we have 4000 mAh or 5000 mAh, like that they will be giving specification. And if you are having a power bank, you will be having a certain specification like 10,000 mAh or 20,000 mAh, like that. So based on that, we are roughly assuming how many times our smartphone can be charged with that power bank, right? So similarly, for any kind of battery, you will be given a certain voltage, and you should calculate how much current is being consumed by that motor, and you should be able to estimate how many batteries are required. See, if you are using certain AA sized batteries, so on the battery catalog you will be also specified the ampere hour, right? So the ampere hour specification, accordingly you should select and design how many batteries are required. Let's say for this particular design I need 4 batteries. I should be able to accommodate 4 batteries in my design itself. So there are a lot of variables that you need to consider, right? So unless you have certain clarity of this particular mindset, see, your brain should be able to take multiple things into consideration. Otherwise, you cannot become a good design engineer. That is the aspect here. So now we'll be mostly concentrating on mechanical aspect only, mechanical and manufacturing aspect only. If you have a slight exposure to electronics and software things, that will be a good advantage, right? So I will be taking you to Paint, right? MS Paint. So I will be roughly briefing you about how typically a part is manufactured, right? So if you take the motor clamp, for example, like this one, this is how the clamp is designed. It has a hole like this. It has certain projections like this. It has certain thickness. Right. And it also has certain clamping position like this, right? So this actually is holding the motor shaft, and these provisions are holding the rear wheel drive, right? So if you want to manufacture this part, generally what happens is, typically these design companies, what they do is they outsource their design for manufacturing companies, right? So one company will provide with them motor clamps, another company will be providing with them with batteries, another company will provide motor, another company will provide antenna, another company will provide them the screws. So like that there will be various aspects in the design factory, right? See, the problem with our present scenario is we are not able to manufacture these kind of toys within India, right? Most of the toys and consumer electronic products and various devices are manufactured in China only, right? So we as Indians should be able to cope up with them because the current government is giving a lot of emphasis on make in India and made in India, right? So my point here will be to how we can utilize our resources so that we can also be competitive to the global market, right? So if you have to design this particular part, you first have to know some manufacturing processes. See, if this is a plastic part, you will be using injection molding. If this is a metal part, you will be using casting, and after casting you will be using machining, right? So as is the plastic part, you will be using injection molding. For injection molding, you will be having certain plastic pellets like this, okay? These pellets will be melted down and poured into the mold, and after they are poured, the final product gets solidified and you will be getting the part, right? So again, if you have to design the mold, you should be knowing some CNC programming as well, right? You should know a design software and you should also be knowing the CNC part programming. So based on your experience, you should be able to select the parting plane. So I want to select this as my parting plane. So if I will draw the front view, this is how the part is. This is the hole, this is the protrusion for holding the motor shaft, and this is the protrusion for holding the transmission shaft. So this is my parting plane. So if this is my parting plane, the upper half will be the cavity, right, and lower half will be the core, right? Core and cavity based mold. So we can choose the bottom one as a cavity, as the upper one as the core as well, right? So when we practically design this part, we will be knowing it in a better way. So I will just take a new sheet. So this is how your upper mold should look like. This is upper mold, okay, and this is how your bottom mold should be there, upper and lower, or whatever, in whatever way you call, right? Okay, this is lower mold, right? So again, if we take the example of upper mold, I will be explaining this in a detailed way, so just have an overview now. I am drawing the upper mold in inverted fashion, right? So you have to select the stock size and you have to give the CNC part programming, and only then you will get a part like this one. So it will have a mold cavity like this one with the certain thickness, right? So this is how your upper mold will look like. I am just showing you in a rough fashion, right? And what you will be doing is you will take a stock size like this one, stock block, okay? This is known as stock. It can be either steel or aluminum, and you have to use a mill, right? We studied know what an end mill is. So we will use an end mill to remove all this material so that you will get a hollow pocket like this, right? So certain manufacturing aspects have to be considered. See, if the corner is sharp like this, end mill will not be able to go to that particular sharp corner. So that means you have to provide certain fillets, right? So that is how design for manufacturing will come into picture. That's why in practical part also you have certain fillet, right? All edges are filleted only for that purpose only. So now you are getting the picture, right? So I will be explaining all these concepts detailedly in the upcoming videos. For now, this is the rough idea that I gave an overview, right? So please let me know if you found this video interesting, and please subscribe to my channel, and also hit the bell icon so that you will be getting the notifications as and when I upload my videos, right? So I will explain all these concepts in a detailed video in the next video. Thank you.